All right, so let's take a quick listen here.
What is the best technique to stop a prince from charging? Take away his credit card.
Oh my God. Oh.
Hey, what's up guys? Savage here with another episode of Clash Royale. And today, real quick, before we begin, I wanted to talk about the Radio Royale episode that just came out, their podcast. If you guys haven't listened to them yet, they're definitely fun. They're worth listening to. You can check it out. I think it's about 17 minutes long is the one that was today. But check it out. There's a couple of key quick takeaways that I wanted to share with you guys from what I took away from listening to it. First one, number one, CCGS. Okay, if you don't know what CCGS is, it's the major massive tournament that's going on worldwide right now. The entry, if you tried to enter or if you looked into entering or anything like that, it was pretty complicated, not gonna lie. There was quite a few people, even when I made it through the initial round going to the bracket tournaments, there was a lot of people who would get disqualified because it was hard to register with multiple different websites, and sometimes the time zones were incorrect, and it was kind of hard to hit all of the things that you needed to hit in order to qualify to move on to the next rounds, let alone playing good enough to make it in. So one of the things that they hinted at is simplified CCGS entry with not having to have multiple websites to register in order to get. And they said the goal of this is, instead of about 1 million people making it in, to get at least a couple more million people. So a lot more people would be able to make it into these tournaments. That's the goal. So keep an eye out for that. Number two, they talked about Clash Night events. So if you hadn't seen or heard or anything about the Clash Night events that they've been doing, most of them are in the Bay Area. So if you're not in the US, unfortunately, there's not really, they don't have the core events going on. They're trying to get them global. That's a lot of what they talked about in this episode, but trying to do more Clash Night events with big YouTubers, so big name YouTubers that you guys know and love. If you guys haven't seen the footage, I've been to a couple, I think I've been to 3 now. 3 or 4. I went to one and I got to meet Nick at Night, Molt, Galadon, Clash with Cam, Clash with Ash, Orange Juice. Everybody, pretty much everyone was there except Chief Pat. So I got to meet them. If you haven't seen that episode, I'll put it up on the screen here. You can click the link in order to check that out if you want. I also went to another one that was hosted by specifically Clash with Ash down in San Francisco as well. But they're trying to do more of these with big YouTubers in order to get people more engaged, I guess, in doing these Clash nights and possibly hosting them near where you live. You can actually email them. If you take a look, if you listen to the Radio Royale podcast, you can email them and request to host a Clash night as well. And they'll try and give you as much support as they possibly can. But that's kind of a cool thing too, where it's basically just small groups of people, anywhere from, they said 6 to like 150 was the biggest one they did, and everyone just in the same room doing, there's different activities, different like contests, and then they have obviously the tournaments going on. So definitely a lot of fun and something very awesome. And finally, they hinted at, and we'll just go ahead and listen here. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Kim, 2v2 tournaments, talk to me.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting actually. So of course, with your guys' fantastic Japan video, you teased that 2v2 comes to friendlies, and automatically that opens the possibilities for competitive play, of course.
All right, you heard it here first. 2v2 tournaments hinted at. That would be pretty sweet. We all have been asking and begging for some type of an update or some new feature as it relates to tournaments, because tournaments have been dead for like 6 months now. Nobody's doing them. The prize is just not worth it. It's a lot better to do, you know, grind out challenges or something like that, or spend your gems on, I don't know. It's not worth the investment. Spending an hour for a very minimal prize pool, kind of not worth it too much anymore. So hopefully that would come soon, but that's pretty sweet. 2v2 tournaments. I don't know what you guys, but I think that would be pretty cool. Teaming up with somebody and going at it to try and get a reward. So guys, definitely real quick, check it out. Check out Radio Royale. It is in the News Royale section, and I encourage you guys to listen to the whole thing. Again, super entertaining. Sip and Bangs are some pretty cool people, and yeah, definitely worth a listen.